So today I would like to talk about a very important ingredient that you have to bring to your meditations, and that is love. Or in the spiritual terms, in meditation terms, it's also called Metta. So you want to develop this quality in your practice that feels very loving, joyful. And first of all, why should you do it? What is the benefit? What you will recognize the more you meditate is that the mind can take on a certain dynamic depending on which intentions you bring in. So there is really an interaction going on between your experiences and the intentions that you bring with you into the meditation. And so setting the intention to experience positive self-love or compassionate love to everything else, so your environment, other people, whatever concepts you bring also with you in that moment. So to have a love that is not really dependent on a certain object, but it's kind of neutral. It loves whatever is brought in awareness, whatever is coming up in your consciousness in the meditation. You're accepting that as an aspect of this loving, joyful experience. And really the reason to do this is to gather a certain momentum of concentration. Because whatever you feel is joyful or loving, the mind naturally tends to gather around that. If you can hold this pure experience within your awareness, it will tend to draw in even more concentration and you will become even more one-pointed. So whatever object you're working with, trying to also feel, okay, how can I make this more enjoyable? Where is in this experience right now, where is this aspect of love, of really, oh yeah, this is right, this feels good, I accept this. To try to find out where that frequency is and then pick up on it and really nurture it, just gently. You cannot push it really hard and focus on it with 100% of your energy. That's not what it likes. You have to play a little bit of how you have to hold this energy in your awareness so that it can really blossom. It's as with plants. They need water, but also they don't need too much water. You have to find the balance there between the object and bringing in gently this kind of self-acceptance, this love, and really trying to fuse the two. Your awareness of the metta, your awareness of the breath, for example. And then another benefit to holding metta within your awareness is that it will influence, the more you practice it, it will influence positively whatever you experience in your life. It will have a trickle-down effect into other situations. And the way it shows you that this is the case is that whenever you are faced with some challenging experiences, especially with other people, when they challenge what you think is right and what is wrong, you will see that more and more often there is this natural tendency for the mind to say, oh, yes, I have experienced this before where I brought some challenging concept with me in the meditation. I brought it up intentionally, while at the same time holding this spacious, really loving, open and accepting energy as well. And then negative experiences can kind of become the trigger to also bring up this openness, presence, loving acceptance. And that's a really beautiful experience, because you see that from this energy also flows a lot of compassion. It flows out towards the thing that is bothering you at the moment, towards maybe your own behavior and your own triggers, so that you can, in the moment, create this very precious spaciousness that allows a response to be generated that is more in line with your actual preferences, how you would wish to interact with others when you are clear and calm, and not when you are like in the rush of the emotions, like really your awareness kind of seems as it has collapsed down to this one thing, and that's all that exists and all that you care about, and you just want to escape this negative emotion. And then really we tend to bring out sides of ourselves that we later regret. And this training, bringing up metta at the same time as you hold other maybe challenging concepts or people in your mind, really allows for this positive response to become our norm. And that's really beautiful to witness. And the more you do it, you also see that it's not really something that's coming from you. It's flowing from something else. It's flowing from your innate goodness. And it's really just something that you have to bring out in yourself through practice. You're kind of intentionally discovering qualities within yourself that have already been lying there, just dormant and waiting to be discovered. So it's both a creation, a discovery, a rediscovery of those innate qualities that you have. And it's a really beautiful process to witness. And it feels also very good in the moment when you practice in the meditation. So I really would encourage you to try and pick up this energy within yourself. And an easy way to do this is really to start out with appreciation for your own existence, for your own being, for your body, for your mental state, for whatever state you're in the moment. You start out with some gratitude towards that. And then you can try to play with, okay, how many concepts that are slightly more challenging can I bring into this space while still having an eye on this loving quality, on this loving frequency. And then you can, for example, think about some people that are kind of neutral to you, and you bring them into this energy as well, and you wish them well too. But then also you challenge yourself with people you really don't like, you had bad experiences with, and you hold them in that same metta, in that same loving presence. And then maybe even bring in the real bad stuff that's kind of really annoying you right now. Maybe it's the state the world is in, or some environmental problems that you perceive to be really bad, or the people that are operating factory farms that are actively doing harm to the environment. Like these acts, like really try, how strong is your metta? Can you accept those as well? Can you love them as unconditionally as you love yourself? Because it is just an extension of yourself. Really, and I have made videos about this in the past, where really the way to think about, as a way of practice, to think about everything in the world is as an extension of yourself. Even from the scientific perspective, you have to see that from that perspective, whatever you are perceiving are just mental brain circuits in your mind, in your brain. So you could say you have identified with one part of your brain, and then you dislike other parts of your brain, where really this representation of whatever it is in the world is stored. So even though you may, after all, come to the conclusion that you have to do something about such and such state of the world, but first of all, it's important, and for practice, especially important, to recognize that whatever you're hating is really hating yourself as an energy construct that's happening between two parts of your brain. Even from the also limited but sometimes very helpful scientific paradigm, that's the conclusion you have to come to. It doesn't help you to hate things in the world, to hate people, to hate situations, because that's just creating the stress between these different representations within your brain. So try to unify them. It is really a way of practicing, of unifying the mind, to accept everything. It doesn't change your outlook on those things. You are not becoming blind to the ramifications they have just because you can hold them in a loving, accepting presence, awareness. So really I want you to understand that difference and why we practice in this way. It's not about becoming blind to certain things as they are. No, but understanding that as a way of holding them energetically within your own brain, within your mind, it makes more sense to be accepting and loving towards them. Otherwise, really what you're doing is you're just hating yourself, parts of yourself that you have disidentified from, as you are residing within an ego perspective. That's just one part of yourself, having dissociated or distracted yourself from the other parts of yourself. So really bring metta in every moment of your meditation. It's a very important, super helpful ingredient that you don't want to neglect. And it's also super fun. It feels really good. It's it generates more of itself the more you practice it. So that's what I wanted to share today. Hope that you find this helpful. Thank you for watching. See you next time.